Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how to make these little gnomes. Now you can hang them up in your Christmas trees, you can hang them in the trees outside if you use a plastic tubing inside here. I'm going to show you how to make them, and they're used, I made them use, I've not got much of it left, I've used kitchen roll. These are kitchen roll tubes, and this is what I used to make it. If you want to hang these outside, if you have a plastic pipe or some serviette rings, if you've got any rings where you put your serviette in and you don't want them, you can use those as well, and then you can hang these outside. You can use a wooden curtain ring, you can hang them outside, or you can use a little metal curtain ring. You'll just have a smaller hat rim on your little gnome. So I'm going to show you how to make these lovely little Santas or little Swedish gnomes. A lot of people make them different ways, but it's all basically the same. I'm going to show you the really quick way, the way where you're just using pieces of cardboard, your scraps of yarn, a pair of scissors and some white glue. You don't need a hot glue gun, you don't need anything fancy to make these little hanging gnomes for your Christmas tree. So I'm going to show you how to do these. And all you need is a toilet roll like this, or a kitchen roll, a tube of cardboard of some sort. Now if you don't have a tube and you have some cardboard, just make it into a ring and either sellotape it closed or you can staple it closed. So the first thing that we're going to do, I've used lots of scrap yarn for this. I've used some King Cole glitz, so one of the Beard's glitz. I've got a silver King Cole glitz, that was for this one. The pink one is just a scrap of chunky yarn. If you use chunky, you can make your hats and that a little bit faster. The beard for this one's beard is Sitter Snuggly Snowflake and chunky. You can use any yarn, absolutely any yarn you want. Make them anyway, make them Christmassy. I gave that one a pink nose because I didn't, the red clashed with his nose. Now I've seen these being made. My sister Elizabeth makes these. It was her that was showing me these. My sister used a bead, she had little wooden beads you can glue there. I made tiny little pom-poms because I don't have beads. I don't have a hot glue gun either. So what I do have is this PVA bond. It's just white glue and it dries clear. You can use any glue you want as long as it dries clear so you can't see it. So you'll need some of that, some cheap PVA glue. I've got all my yarns together. For this one I used this scrap ball of chunky red, and that's what we're going to use to do the sample one. So I'm going to keep this glitz and this one. I'll put the other yarns off to the side. I'll move them to the side as well. I'll move all these little gnomes over here. I'll move these little gnomes over here. I'll leave that one over there. Now you're going to need a pair of scissors. Now I'm going to tell you right away, I need new scissors. These are not too sharp at all, but this is all basics. This is all what you've got. Make these with what you have at hand. You don't need to go out and buy anything special for these. I'm going to squash my tube just a little bit so I can cut it. And cut it about 1.5 inches to 2 inches thick. It's up to you. You can have it thicker if you want it. You can have it thinner. It's up to you. You can do these with the kids. Brilliant to do with the kids. Just leave it aside because you can make some more. So you've got your little ring like this. Now what you're going to do is you're going to have your yarn. I'm going to make the hat first. So if you've got any little tail ends like that, just snip them off so it doesn't show through your yarn. Snip those off, won't do any harm at all. Now find the end of this bundle of yarn. So I found the end. Now what I'm going to do is, I'm actually going to cheat and just use my mobile phone. You need something that's about maybe 6 or 8 inches tall. So I'm just going to use the cover of my mobile phone. I'm just going to wrap this yarn around. We're going to make some strands. You need some long strands like this. So the easiest way, use your phone. Just be careful with it. Or a piece of card, anything that you can wrap the yarn around. Just wrap it around like this. That piece of yarn, cut it off. That's us done with that. I'll throw that to the side. Then take this off, whatever it is you've wrapped it around. So I've used my phone, and I'm going to the bottom part of the loops. I'll move my phone out the way. So you've got your loops. Put your scissors right through and cut it. So you have these long lengths. I've got some from earlier as well. I can use those up. All are strands like this. Now if you use thin yarn, when I did this one I used 3 strands to wrap around each time. If you're using a chunky yarn, you can, 2 will be fine. Just use 2 strands. Now what you're going to do is you're going to fold them in half like this. Fold it in half, and then you're going to thread it through your little ring that you have. The loops are on this side, and you're going to take your tails and you're going to pull them through the loops like this, and then just tighten it up. With this one I'm putting the knot on the inside like this. Just fiddle with it till you get the knot up here. Now with these ones I didn't. I just left the knots on the front. It doesn't matter whether your knots are on the front, it just adds to the pattern of your little hat. You can have them on the outside or on the inside, but whatever you do is make sure they're all the same side. So if you're doing it this way, make sure all your little knots are on the inside of your ring. And if you do it that way and you're not too worried where the knots show, then make sure all the knots go that way. So you'll take your next 2 and you're going to work your way around your ring. Fold them in half. These are about 12 inches long, and when they're half they're about 6 inches each. So fold it in half, and we'll go to the next section. Just pull your loop, put your little ends through, and just pull it up like that. Move it along, and you're going to do that all the way around your little hat. So I've got room for one more. Get my 2 strands, leave these aside. Just push this one down and through. Make sure they're kind of even. Make your loop, pull your tails through your loop, and then pull it up. Now you might need to just go around and tighten these up a little bit. Just tighten them up a little bit like that. Now we're going to make the hat. Now I did tell you this was a kind of quicker and easier way. I'm not going to stuff the hat. I've seen some people stuff the hat, but the pom-pom that we make for the head will stuff it enough. So once you're happy with your little circle of your cardboard being covered, take a strand that you have and we're going to tie it. Now it's up to you where you tie it. You can tie it down quite far and just have a little hat. You can tie it up higher like this one. And this one I've tied it even higher and left a bigger pom-pom. It's up to you how you do these. If they're going on your trees and hanging in out in your garden, if you do use plastic for that ring, then you can hang them outside. It's just yarn, it won't come to any harm outside. So at least maybe about 2 inches up. 2 inches up. What you're going to do is to tie it. Now I'm going to give you a tip with tying. Watch this. To get a really nice tight knot, if you're doing it like with this, or even for pom-poms, this ties your pom-pom in really tight. Now you're going to cross over your yarn like this. Now take this one and put it from the back through to the front twice. So wrap it twice, from the back through to the front once, from the back and through to the front twice. Now hold it there. Now this one, take it, you can see it's coming from the back. Now you're going to push that through the front to the back just the once. Rewind this video and watch it again, because this is a great way to tie a knot. Now it looks all twisted there. Now slowly, just slowly pull it, and as you can see, those twists, I'll tip it that way, those twists are going to twist themselves in, and you can pull that so tight. You will get a super tight knot in there for any pom-poms and any hats. As you can see, it's twisted itself into a really tight knot. Then just give it a normal little knot tie, and these ones I'm going to tie a knot in the top, because these are going to be the ones that I'm going to hang it up with. So bring that knot. You can use a longer piece of this if you want. I'll bring that knot up a little bit. That's going to hang my little gnome. Keep those ones down there. And these ones, just trim them up. Now I'm going to use my yucky little scissors. Just whatever scissors you've got. You don't need to go and buy anything special for these. If you've got some yarn and a piece of cardboard and a little bit of glue, you can make these. Now you can take your time with it and get it all nice and neat if you want. Move that aside. Give it a little shake. And that's your little hat made. Your little hat part is made of your gnome. If you want that shorter, just gather it up in your hand and pull it up and just trim it a little bit more to make your little pom-pom for your hat. Now you can use any yarn, I've said that already. Any thickness, you just maybe need to use a few more strands. I'm going to clean that off because I've got some white to do next. Move all that over there. And there you go, that's you got your little tie and your little hat. Your little hat's made like that. Now you can fuss around with it. I know some people push it through and pull it out this way, but I think this is just as quick, it's just as nice. We're not buying them from shops, we're making them by hand. Unless you're going to sell them, then you can do it much neater. Take your time with it. That's your little hat made, so we're going to pop that aside. So this is my little gnome, and this is the yarn that I used for his, underneath his little face, his little beard. Now I'm going to pop him there. This is King Cole Baby Glitz, but like I said, you can use anything that you want. Now again, you need your card back that's at least about 6 inches wide. Make sure that your card's at least 6 or 8 inches wide. I'm going to use my phone again. I'll turn it that way. I'm just going to wrap this around my phone. Anything that you've got in hand that's about 6 or 8 inches wide, just about 6 or 8 inches. Wrap it around. Don't do it too thick. You don't want your little beard to be too big a pom-pom that it's not going to fit inside this little hat. And they don't need to be really neat. This one's quite neat that I've done. But look at this one. She's just a little shabby chic one. That one's just a little sort of shabby, and this one's really fluffy. So for this one, there was no real tidying that up, so it's so neat. But they're really pretty. They're really pretty, so it just shows you that you don't need to be brilliant at cutting anything. So I'll pop that back there. And I'm just going to wind. It doesn't, I don't know how many times to wind it. I'm just winding it until I'm happy with it. A nice good amount. So that should be enough. So it's about that thick. Just cut that there. Now I need a piece, so the longish a piece to tie my pom-pom. Now you can buy pom-poms all ready made and you can put them in, but that's defeating the point of making these yourself, having a little bit of fun. So I'm going to take this yarn off my phone. Comes in handy this, doesn't it? Nobody phones me, I won't be able to talk to them. So just put that there. Now what you're going to do is you're going to leave it like that. Get a double piece of yarn. A double piece, just double it over. And you're going to pop it right in the middle here. Now I'm going to show you how to do that knot again. Cross your yarns over as if you were going to tie a knot. Take this one and wrap it in through once around the back and pull it through twice. Now take this one and from the front and push it through to the back. Just the once. And you've got all this twisting here, but what it's going to do is when you slowly tighten it, look at that, it's going to tighten itself into a really tight knot. Look how tight that knot is. It's really tight. Tie it once in there, and then we're going to wrap it around to this side and wrap this one around. We're going to tie it again. Now these are not toys. They're not toys, so please make sure small children do not get them. Now I'm going to tie this again as if I was tying it in a knot. You should be able to get a nice tight knot done now. But again, just cross it over and then bring it from the back to the front and then wrap it around again and through. And this one, take it around and through to the back. So it's twisted, all twisted. And then pull it tight. And as you can see, it's making itself into this really tight knot. And you can get that pom-pom done really tight. Now all you're going to do now is we're going to snip through all these loops. Just put your scissors through, just catch all the loops and cut through them. And the same with this one. Now these ends that you done, just trim them and through the loops and cut. Just push your scissors through like this to make sure you've got all your loops, and give it a shake. Give it a shake. And that's you got your little beard. Now, you can fold it like this. Once it's all dry, once your glue's dry, you can trim the beard. I would recommend you wait until it's all dry first, because I'm going to show you what to do. Now, I've got that all gathered like that. We're going to put this pom-pom beard inside the hat like that. But what we're going to do first is I'm going to put some glue right around. Now you can stuff inside there, but I found you don't need to stuff it. You don't need to stuff it. So I've got my glue open, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure, oops, doesn't matter where it goes, make sure that you get a ring of glue around the edge. You can use hot glue if you have it. Most people don't have hot glue, but a lot of people will have this craft glue, as long as it dries clear. Now I'm going to make sure I get up the edge so that my little beard sticks properly. I've made these before and the little beard just fell out. It wasn't sealed on properly. Now I'm going to drop some in and around inside the hat. That's going to help those strands in there to stay together as well. Right, just carefully sit it down. Get your little beard and just sort of squish it like this. Squish it like that. Now you're going to pop that inside there. Give it a little twisty like this. That spreads the glue around, and it's going to help that little beard hold in there like that. Now don't mess around with it. Put it down and leave it to dry. Just put it down and leave it to dry, and that's going to be your little beard of your little gnome. So just set it aside to dry. I would say at least an hour or two, and I'm going to show you how to make the nose. If you don't have a bead, and you don't have a little wooden nose or anything, get yourself a length of the colour that you... I'm not going to do it that colour, I'm going to do it pink so it stands out. I'm going to make this one's nose pink because the pink will stand out like this one. So just get yourself a little length of yarn and 3 fingers. Just wrap it around about 6 or 7 times, just that amount. We're going to cut most of it off anyway, and cut. Now just lay that down like that, and then get another piece to tie it. Oops, I'm not in there. Get another little piece that we can tie it with. Take your little winding that you've got and put it on the middle, and you're going to tie it. Tie it the same way we tied the hat. I'm going to wrap through my loop twice. One, you can do it this way, put it back in, and 2. Right, put my little bundle of yarn back in the middle. Take the back, that one from the front through to the back, and we're going to pull it. I'll bring the camera down, and I'm going to tighten it, and you can see that tightening itself into like a little double knot here. Look at this. You see how it works. and just pull it really tight, and look how tight that knot's gone. It's going to hold those little strands in. But I'm going to say it again, it's not a toy, so make sure that no small children get these to play with, because no matter how careful you are, some of the strands might come out. So I'm just going to tie that into a little knot. I'll tie it again. Now when you've put the glue in, the glue helps to hold some of the strands of yarn. So it looks like a little mess. Don't worry. What we're going to do is we're just going to snip this. Snip it all off like a little tiny pom-pom. Now if you want to make a lot of these, you can buy beads or pom-poms for the noses, or little wooden noses if you intend to make them and sell them. But I don't have any, so I am doing it this way. So now you've got this tiny little blob of wool. Just push it in the middle like this. Push it in. Now excuse my hands, I'm covered in glue and sticky bits. Just work your scissors around and neaten up your tiny little pom-pom. I really need to get a pair of sharp scissors. Whoop. And there you go, look. You've got yourself a little nose. You've got yourself a little fluffy nose. Now what we're going to do is, once your little hat and beard is dry, just find where you want to put. You can leave it. You can neaten all this up when it's completely dry. I'm just showing you how to do this. Make sure yours is completely dry. Then you can neaten up your beard. Now I'm going to get my glue. And I'm going to put a generous blob of glue. It will dry clear, this glue. Sort of under the hat a little bit and into the strands. Like that. A generous little blob of glue. Just got to close this up. Now I'm just going to use that to clean that. Now over there. Now get my little pom-pom I've made. I've got a little bit of glue on there. And you're going to pop it on its face like this. Now slightly pop it under the hat. Make sure it goes kind of underneath the hat a little bit, so it looks like his little nose is sticking out. And that's it. That is all you do with it. Just set it aside to dry. Get rid of all your scraps. And there you go. Once this is dry, you can give it a really good shake. You can make the beards nice and neat if you want them, like this one. This one is much neater. Once it's dry, then you can neaten it all up around the body. So it doesn't matter if your knots are on the inside or the outside. I like them like that. I think it shows up some of the pattern. And it's a lot easier than pushing it through and twining it round. All you need to do to make these beautiful little decorations is that. I think the scrappier they look, the better they are. I think if they look kind of scruffy, I think they're lovely. And you've got your little loops to hang them in your tree. And that's my little fluffy one with a little pink hat. So they are for decoration on your tree. Please keep them out of the way of small children. So give these a little try. They're absolutely adorable. I'll trim that one's beard up once it dries off a little bit better. But they're great. Look at them. They're absolutely so cute. They're so cute. So thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe to the channel, and if you click on the bell icon, YouTube will tell you when I put up another tutorial. So until the next time, happy crafting, and I'll see you all again soon. Goodbye.